Broadcasting. Conference titles.
2018 Jayhawk Conference champions. The Blockbusters are 2016 Jayhawk Conference champions.
3 runner-up finishes.
And top-ranked Trinity Valley rips right through number 2 Garden City. Final score 48-13. The Cardinals, 1997 national champions.
And Glendale, the Gauchos, are going to be your 2000 NJCAA national champions.
Rashawn Polino-Bell, the transfer from Michigan State, strips David Moore, recovers the fumble, and the Lions national champions again.
And 1 national championship.
Is he into the end zone? Yes! Touchdown, Garden City! Uslick looks right, Rainbow's right, he's got a man, Phillips. Back left corner, Hazlett. He's got it! And for the first time in program history, the Garden City Blockbusters are national champions.
Blockbuster football.
Batted up in the air and it's intercepted in the end zone. Mincy's got it. They'll throw it that way and it's picked off. Warren save at the 35. Snap to more play action. Rolls right. Looks. Fires over the middle. He's got one at the 10 to the 5. Bouncing back left to the end zone. Is he in? Yes. It's Charles West right up the middle across the 40 and there he goes. 50, 40, middle of the field 30. West to the 20, 10, 5. Touchdown Charles West.
Is brought to you in part by American Family Insurance Agent Neil Hawley, American Implement, Burtis Motors, Crazy House, D&H Homes, Garden True Value, Morton Buildings, Central Care Cancer Center, A&A Body Shop, Kansas Farm Bureau, Wheatland Electric and Wheatland Broadband, American Ag Credit, Garnand Funeral Home, Keller Leopold, Robinson Furniture, QSI, Hydro Resources, Flat Mountain Brew House, Little Caesars, First National Bank, Timeout Sports Bar, Garden City Community College, Domino's Pizza, Farmers Insurance Agent Rodrigo Ruvalcaba, Sammy's Spirits and Steakhouse, and Allstate Insurance Agent Steve Dyer.
Moore snap, looks left, fires, end zone, he's got West! Touchdown Garden City! Charles West on an out pattern left, and a dart from David Moore!
Now, let's join the voice of the Blockbusters, Mike Pilosoff and John Ford.
Final 3 games of the regular season. And of course, this is the trickiest of them all because it sits right in front of arguably the biggest game of the year. Today, the Blockbusters, who have slid up to number 7 in the polls, host Coffeyville. It's Garden City and the Red Ravens here on ESPN Radio. And welcome into Blockbuster Stadium, the pregame show alongside John Ford. C.D. DeSalvo will join us here momentarily from the sidelines. I'm Mike Pilosoff. So here you go. This is a matchup of 2 teams that are complete polar opposites. And when I say that, Garden City, John, is one of the best rushing teams in the country. They are 2nd in yards per game. You look on the flip side of that, you'd almost expect Garden City to run for 400 or 500 yards today because Coffeyville comes in dead last in that department.
You know, it's going to be an interesting game. First, from the trap standpoint, you know, are we going to take these guys a little bit softly because they have the worst defense in the nation, and I think for us to not overlook this game, I think we've got to be very assignment based. I mean, we got to do the fundamentals correct, try to find something we can improve on, and do that. And I think if we are successful at that, I don't think this will be a trap game. I think we'll just, in a business-like approach, mow right over. You know, another thing that's interesting that I thought is, it might be a time to maybe even get a little bit of the passing game into it. Coach Minich said that they haven't even really used their passing game. They work on it all the time during practice, but ultimately, what is the games that they play? They play a run game. And so, to have that run game doing what it's doing right now, and then add to it that passing game, holy smokes. So it might be a good good time to maybe bring that out. But I don't think you want to show everything.
This is a capable passing team, that we know. Let's bring in the third member of our broadcast team today, CD DeSalvo. CD, on Thursday, Tom Minich had a stern message for his guys.
Yeah, and he used that Wisconsin-Illinois game as a perfect example with his team about overlooking. Of course, Wisconsin, the next week had Ohio State, undefeated. They go to Illinois and lose. And you could say that's because they're overlooking Illinois. Maybe Illinois just played their best game. But that's a perfect example, and that's what Minich used with his team. Don't overlook these guys just because you got Hutch coming in next week. Guys, 64 degrees, wind out of the south-southwest, 14 miles per hour, feels like 63 degrees. Beautiful day for fall football.
And you have to bring this up, but remember, it was 2015. Butler was #1 in the country. Garden City was 1-7, and everything changed. Garden City went in there and beat them. Anybody can beat anybody, as cliche as that is.
Oh yeah, one game. I mean, it can devastate a team or it can propel a team.
And by the way, Coffeyville has some talented players. It's not like they're void. They don't have 22 Mike Pilosov suited up today. So
and to find that, to see them 2-7, that's a rarity.
Coffeyville at one point ruled this conference. Take a break. When we come back, we'll hear from Brockbuster head coach Tom Minich. We take a listen back to last week's win over Highland, and then my pregame chat with arguably one of the best kickers of the country, Andre Dos Santos Aris. It's all coming up here on 99.9 The Rock.
It's time to hear from head coach Tom Minich, presented by QSI. Visit QualityStructures.com today.
Boy, the temperature has definitely changed. I know for a guy that has coached in this weather before but lived in Arizona the last decade plus, how big of a change has this been?
Arizona, Kansas, I think I'd lean to Arizona right now with the weather. Obviously, the football here is, people support it and stuff like that, but the weather, I'd rather be in that weather, I guarantee it right now. Growing up in this, I can see why I left and went to Arizona. So, but it's you're getting used to it again. We had spring ball here, and it was cold as heck here in the spring, and this is really the second day it's been really, really cold. So, just got to get used to it. Players are getting used to it. And, everybody has the same players. Everybody's from the South, most of them. So everybody's got to deal with it.
It's not like we make so much of a big deal about the weather, but when it goes from 70 for one game and then drops to 40 for the next, how big of a challenge is that just for your guys?
Once they're out here and running around, they're okay. It's just getting them out here and running around. It's more change probably for the coaches than anything else. Especially most of us being from Arizona, a little bit a change of up and down here. We never had that drastic temperature change in the morning to night, but you're never really out at night. So during the day, it's a different story here.
Tom Minich joining us here in the pregame. Would you say the Highland game was the most complete game that you guys have played?
We've had a couple in a row that have been pretty complete. We've been playing pretty well. We just want to make sure we continue to do that. If we can continue with these next 3 games, we told the kids after bye week we need to win the next 4. We got 1 down, we got 3 more left, and our kids are pretty focused. So we had some good practices this week, and we got to continue with that, during game time, this week against Coffeyville.
How much has Nate Cox adjusted to life with a sprained thumb? I know kind of a slow start the last game, but boy, he had some beautiful throws in that second quarter.
He's played well this week with the cast on it. So I mean, he's played really well, and he says it's numb, so he can't feel anything, and he's throwing some good balls this week. So he'll be fine. I'm confident he's doing a good job, and we'll be fine.
When you look at Coffeyville, I mean, a couple things stand out. One, defensively, they give up a ton of yards on the ground. When you watch them on film, what stands out?
Well, they run around the ball. I mean, anybody can beat you in this league. So, I mean, we can't show up and just go through the motions, and I gave them that example, last week with Wisconsin and Illinois. Illinois was a 30-point underdog and end up winning the game over Wisconsin. Wisconsin's looking forward to Ohio State, and it's the same thing we're doing. We got, Coffeyville, and we're looking forward to playing Hutch. And we can't do that. We got to make sure we concentrate on Coffeyville and make sure we play well against them so we can win the game. First of all, that's the most important thing, and then get our shot at Hutch.
It's easy in theory to say to not overlook, but how difficult has that been to kind of get your guys even keels? Okay, look, we've got one game before we get to the big one.
It doesn't matter what you say. I don't care what coach says that they're 18, 19-year-old kids, and you can say it all you want. They're gonna they know in their mind they're better and they should win. They just got kids just got to perform, and hopefully our kids sit there and know they got to win this one before they can do anything else. Because I'd hate to be have a chance to win the next three, win the next two, and lose this one, and then you don't have a shot at anything. So we're just kind of hoping that doesn't play into things, and it's tough to make sure they're all ready.
Stay warm.
Yeah, thank you. I'm freezing right now.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Tom Minich does not like the cold. You can't blame him. He spent 11 years in Yuma, Arizona, and it was cold during practice this week. It has warmed up today. Temperatures, as CD was talking about, should get into the low 70s today. That will obviously change over the next couple of days. Take a break. When we come back, we take a listen back to last week's impressive win over Highland. That's next on 99.9 The Rock.
It's time for your Game Rewind.
DeAndre Wallace left, Troy Vaughn Johnson right, Johnson in motion right to left, half diamond for Cox. Chest tie snap, play action, Cox well protected, wants the bomb, unloads it down the middle for Johnson, and he's got it! Touchdown, Garden City. Running the go route right down the middle of the field, and he beats Brian George for a 44-yard touchdown, and the Blockbusters strike first early in the second quarter.
We just got to keep doing it and hit the big plays when they present themselves, and we'll be all right.
3 receivers left, 1 right. Cox in the shotgun. Snap, looks left. Drifts backwards, sidesteps a man, floats back left corner, and it's caught. Touchdown, Garden City. It's Bryce Parker. Back left corner of the end zone, beating Jonathan Butler. Second touchdown toss for Cox, and it's 13-0 Garden City.
We work more on passing than we do anything else throughout the week. It's just when we need it, we got to be prepared to do it.
Punting for Highland is Isaac Gonzalez. 14 seconds on the clock here in the second quarter. High snap. Gonzalez fields it with one hand, and he's dropped in the end zone for a safety. It's Willie Irvin, who seems to come up with a special teams play every game, and there he is again.
Michael, they just lost their punt.
They have 3 tight ends. It's Jaden Hayes and the Wildcat. Snap to Hayes, right up the middle, and he walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Garden City. Jaden Hayes blasts in from a yard out, and they turn the Kenny White interception into 6 points, and it's 22-0 Garden City with 7:20 remaining in the third quarter.
Oh, well, we got 4 running backs that are great, so every running back comes in with fresh legs, and our O-line does great. Our O-line's amazing.
I think we'd get better. It's just getting over the hump at the beginning, and the problem is I scheduled snow the first game.
Cox at a halftime, and Hayes behind Cox. Davis is the H-back who shifts from right to left. Chest tie snap, give it to Hayes. Up the middle. Following Theobald. Did he get into the end zone?
Yes.
Yes! Touchdown, Jaden Hayes, his second of the game. And the Blockbusters have blown it open, up 29-7.
You got a speedster, the next time you got a bruiser, and then they don't know how to tackle, so yeah, it's great having 4 backs like that.
Second and goal from the 11. Pistol eye for Cox. Behind him this time is Merriweather. Ellis gets the carry going left. High steps to the 5. Turns the corner. Did he get in? Ellis Merriweather, touchdown.
We just got to keep getting better and better. Get in the film room, look up the defenses, and let's keep going.
We just got to keep playing. We're shooting to get 3 in a row here. So, if we can get another 3 in a row, we'll see where we sit.
Garden City, maybe their most complete game of the regular season last week on the road. There is something about this team, John. We've talked about it as we welcome you back in here to Blockbuster Stadium, the pregame show alongside John Ford, C.D. DeSalvo. I'm Mike Pilosoff. But there's something about this team playing on the road that inspires them, and you talked about some of the variables, staying in a hotel, all those things. But when they've gone on the road, it's been a different team.
Well, I think anytime you can be sequestered and you have a chance to work with your position coach the night before a game, I think that really helps focus a team. And I think you're seeing that every time we go out on the road. We have a lot of focus, and we do a lot of things right. And, I know when my son played down in Midwestern State, they used to sequester their kids even in home games. They'd have to go to a hotel. And that gives them a great chance to talk to their position coach, watch film, basically focus in on their opponent.
Bill Snyder did it for years. Most of these Division I programs, regardless if they're home or away, they're staying, hotel. Of course, their budget is a lot bigger than the junior college ranks, so of course that definitely plays into it.
And that's obviously, that's a variable that you have to take into account is the cost of it, because it is a costly venture. But at the same time, it really pays dividends.
Garden City's won 13 straight true road games. They come back home with Coffeyville this week, but you don't want to look ahead, but you've got Hutch, who will probably move up to the number 2 team this week. Garden City sitting at number 7 right now. A lot of things still need to happen for the conference championship, and it starts today with Coffeyville. Take a break. When we come back, my pregame conversation with starting kicker Andre Dos Santos Aris. That's next on 99.9 The Rock. Back on the pregame show alongside John Ford, C.D. DeSalvo, Mike Pilosoff. It's Garden City and Coffeyville. We've got the starting kicker, Andre Dos Santos Ares, who's been really good this year. Of course, we don't want to jinx that. I know Coach Minich is a proponent for that, but talk about your experience. You're a Brazilian kid. You come here, you were in Iowa, and then you came to Garden City.
Yeah, I went last year to Iowa to play soccer, and I always wanted to play college football because I played 5 years ago as an exchange student in a small town close to Garden, and I just wanted to play college football, and I got the best offer, come to Garden City.
How's the experience been?
Amazing. I've had good games. I've missed 2 field goals, 1 PAT and 1 field goal, and I think I'm doing good this season.
You know, it's funny because before the season started, I was out here watching you kick, and you missed a couple of short ones. And so before we went on the air first game, they asked me, so what do you think of our kicking game? And I said, might be a little iffy, but you've been really solid. Take us through your approach. What's worked for you this year that you've been successful? You mentioned the PATs and the field goals.
I've worked a lot. I did miss a lot of field goals and everything in the beginning, but only on practice. And I think practice is the time you can miss. So I work hard, I work a lot, so I don't miss anything in the game. But it's been a lot of hard work, and that's it, hard work.
Did you, besides the hard work, was there something fundamental that you had to change?
Yes, I had to work in a lot of my technique, because my technique wasn't that great. I watched a lot of videos of what I spoke with a lot of coaches, like kicking coaches, and other kickers from other schools, and with everybody's help and the work.
All right, big game for you guys this week. If it comes down the next 3 games for you, I mean, these are all must-wins. So if it comes down to a last-second field goal, which we hope it doesn't, but if it does, how much confidence do you have? With the pressure on.
I'm going to make it 100%. I like the pressure. Pressure makes me kick better, and I'll do what I can.
Well, good luck.
Appreciate it.
Tom Minich, love to hear that. 100% if it does come down to a game-winning field goal attempt. Take a break. When we come back, we meet today's starting lineups. Garden City and Coffeyville, the kick coming up on 99.9 The Rock. Alongside John Ford, C.D. DeSalvo, Mike Pilosoff at Blockbuster Stadium. It's Garden City and Coffeyville. It is that time to get into today's starting lineups. And first, we meet the Blockbusters.
Let's meet the Blockbusters offensive starters.
Touchdown, Garden City.
Nate Cox, quarterback, sophomore, Lafayette, Louisiana.
Ramon Jefferson, running back, redshirt sophomore, Bronx, New York.
Bryce Parker, athlete, sophomore, Duarte, California.
MJ Link, wide receiver, redshirt freshman, Lakeland, Florida.
DeAndre Wallace, wide receiver, sophomore, Waterbury, Connecticut.
Troyline Johnson, wide receiver, sophomore, St. Petersburg, Florida.
Julian Clark, tackle, redshirt freshman, Jacksonville, Florida. Paul Fino, offensive lineman, sophomore, Seattle, Washington.
Nathan Hachi, center, sophomore, Hollywood, Hawaii.
Namonte Decor, O-line, redshirt freshman, Columbus, Ohio.
Andrew Theobald, offensive line, freshman, Boise, Idaho.
Now it's time to meet the Blockbusters starting defense.
Intercepted under pressure, Hansen, and he's sacked.
Ali Gay, defensive end, sophomore, Seattle, Washington.
Darius Johnson,
Nose, freshman, Spokane, Washington.
Jordan Riley, defensive tackle, sophomore, Durham, North Carolina.
Ryan McClain, defensive end, sophomore, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Willie Hampton, sophomore, linebacker, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Rashawn Merriweather, middle linebacker, redshirt sophomore, St. Louis, Missouri.
Jared Jones, Rover, sophomore, Lakewood, New Jersey. Bernard Bozeman, cornerback, sophomore, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. DJ McCullough, DB, redshirt sophomore, Tampa, Florida.
Anthony Jordan, free safety, redshirt sophomore, Baltimore, Maryland.
Kenny White, safety, sophomore, Pittsburgh, PA.
There's the starting offense and the starting defense for the Bronxbusters, who all of a sudden are red hot now. They've won 4 straight games, including last week's 30-point rout of the Highland Scotties. Let's go ahead and meet the Coffeyville Red Ravens, 2-7 overall, 1-5 in conference play. Again, this used to be the powerhouse team in the Jayhawk Conference. Their starting offense, the right tackle is Jonathan Buskey, 6'7", 330-pound sophomore from Mobile, Alabama. Karen Coleman as the starting right guard, 6'2", 330-pound freshman. Nathaniel Trupak, 6'5", freshman from Smith Station, Alabama, is the starting center. Brandon Manis, 6'4", 305-pound freshman from Knoxville, Tennessee, the left guard. Then Ezekiel Powell, who is cousins with Willie Cauley-Stein, who's from Spearville, played at Olathe, and is now with the Golden State Warriors. 6'5", 295-pound sophomore is the starting left tackle. Receivers, Tyquez Hampton, third on the team with 20 catches for 231. Isaiah Taylor, Greg Jean, and then the San Diego State transfer, Kyrie Richardson, 11 catches for 136. The starting running back is Marco Lee. He's a returner from last year, 138 carries for 703 yards and 5 touchdowns. They've used 4 different quarterbacks this year. Aubrey Williams, we think, gets the start today. 548 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 4 picks. For Coffeyville, their starting defense, they run a 4-3 under defensive coordinator Matthew St. Germain, who's now in his 2nd season. Myron Green, Jermaine Carmina, Devin Lee, and Mikkel Smiley are the starting front 4. Cy Norman, Christian Gomez, who transferred from Army West Point, and Jacob Procha, the linebackers. Desmond Ross and Devontae Dawson, the corners. Demarius Farmer and Dalen Gantz, who's 4th on the team with 49 tackles, are the starting safety men. That's the starting lineups for the Red Ravens. And while the captains are at midfield, let's go ahead and get John Ford's keys to the game.
Well, I think the key for the game is Coach Minich kind of summed it up. Perform. Perform like you know how to. Work on the little things that fit within the scheme of how you're gonna play this game, and work on it. And don't take anything for granted. That is
Garden City has won the toss, and they've elected to defer to the second half. Coffeyville will receive in the north end zone. Gentlemen, shake hands. Good luck.
Not to interrupt you, John, but go ahead.
I do think it's really important that, you know, we polish some things. I mean, God knows Hutchinson polished some things when they played this week, and so I think it's time for us to do the same against a little better competition than Hutchinson faced.
My question, as always, is Hutch beat Resolution Prep 89-0. What do you gain out of that?
I don't know. I've never even heard of that school or prep school or whatever. I mean, I don't even know who that is, Michael.
Neither did they. They just showed up, and that was it. So let's go down to CD DeSalvo. Final word before kick.
Yeah, guys, again, the weather beautiful down here. Of course, Coffeyville going to get the ball first. Garden City on defense. So hopefully Garden City jumps on them early and gets the better of them here in the first half.
Rockbusters have won the last 3 meetings. Garden City won the toss. They elected to defer. So Coffeyville wearing the white jerseys, white pants and shirts, the white helmet with the Ravens insignia on the side of the helmet. Garden City, the white pants, the black tops, and the gold helmets. Coffeyville set to move from left to right. And back deep for the Red Ravens is Chalin Fa'amatu. He stands back at the 5-yard line, along with Titan Williams. Rockbusters sitting at 6-2. Dos Santos Aires has it on the tee, and a beautiful day here in western Kansas. Swings the right leg through. We're underway with an end-over-end kick, and it floats out of the back of the end zone. So a touchback, and Coffeyville starts 1st and 10, moving left to right at their own 25-yard line. Question all week is which quarterback will Aaron Flores, now in his 8th season as the head coach for Coffeyville, which quarterback will he deploy on the opening possession? He's used 4 of them. Jack Bastable, Aubrey Williams, Cam Smith, and Edwin Kleinpeter. So it's 1st and 10, Coffeyville, and it's Cam
Set the play
Smith.
clock to 40 and run it, please. Thank you.
So Cam Smith is the starting quarterback, sophomore from Delray Beach, Florida. And he's got 2 backs behind him in the pistol on 1st down. Hands it off, spinning at the line of scrimmage is Marco Lee. And maybe made it back to the 25-yard line. Ryan McLean wraps him up. Loss of about a half a yard at 2nd down and long.
You know, Michael, one of the things that I've seen that's kind of it just seems to be kind of the narrative this year. The more we see that RPO, the better able we are to defend it. And it seems like we're just improving each week on defending that.
2nd and 10, Coffeyville left hash at their own 25. 2 receivers, right, 1 left, and the shotgun, the ball is on the ground. Smith picks it up, and he falls backwards back at the 16-yard line. Krishawn Merriweather touches him up. They say the 17, it's a loss of 8, and it's 3rd and 18.
Yeah, he didn't want to pick that up because Krishawn was he was bearing down pretty good on him.
Not the start that Aaron Flores was looking for.
Loss of 8 on the play, it'll bring a 3rd down and 18.
So 3rd and 18 now, Coffeyville from their own 17-yard line. Red Ravens this year have been really bad on 3rd down, just 23%. 3 receivers with a slot to the right. This is Marco Lee on a delay up the middle. And he runs out near the 21-yard line. Josh Artis and Ali Gay combined on the stop. Gain of 6. Heading closer to 5, and Coffeyville goes 3 and out.
Mike, I think that's probably the only thing they could have done because I think Garden City had their ears pinned back, ready to go after the passer. So best thing is take the poison and move on. Play good defense.
14.
Saran Hughes forward to punt for Coffeyville. Troy Vaughn Johnson drops back deep. 13-20 to go, scoreless first quarter. And the Red Ravens, it hasn't been the offense that's been the problem, it's been their defense. The rush is on in a wobbly spiral. Johnson fields at his own 39 left hash, and he just dives up the hash mark to the 42-yard line. So a 39-yard punt, 3 on the return. 13:09 to go here in the first quarter. No score, and Garden City has it moving right to left.
You know, Troy Vaughn Johnson's pretty reliable at catching the ball. That time, that trajectory of the punt was kind of down, and so made it a little bit more difficult for him to receive and bounce right off his shoulder pads. Lucky he fell on it.
So now 1st and 10, Brockbusters moving right to left, left hash at their own 43. Kevon Dingle trots right. MJ Link comes left.
1st and 10 for the Busters at the 43-yard line.
They have 2 tight ends with Hill and Bryce Parker. Half diamond for Cox. Waist-high snap, play action on the first play. Wants it all, airs it out, left seam for Link. He's got it! Inside the 5 and down to the 2. Oh, he smoked Devontae Dawson. What a throw from Nate Cox, and it's a gain of 55 on the first play from scrimmage.
Any questions about that thumb?
I know you were saying, and both of us had some concerns last week, and he had a couple of wobbly ducks early, but boy, I'll tell you what, he came back, had that touchdown pass to Johnson.
All I can say is Nate Cox is a gamer.
Actually marked the knee down at the 4. 1st and goal from there. Dingle goes right, Link tight left with 2 tight ends, half diamond for Cox. Jefferson behind Cox. Chest high snap, handed for Jefferson, right up the middle. Burrows to the 2, bounces off one man near the 1, and has stood up there. First one to hit him, the interior lineman Devin Lee, freshman from Clyde, Ohio, after a gain of 2. 2nd down and goal for Garden City.
Guess who's going out there right now? Ellis Merriweather. And you know that what that means? That means that's the Thunder behind the Lightning right there.
Jaden Hayes, you'd almost expect this is that Wildcat package. This is Jaden Hayes' territory. They actually moved the ball back to the 3. It's only a gain of a yard. Cox does stay in there. He's going to go under center. Offset eye left. Wide right goes MJ Link on 2nd and goal from the 3. Snap. Hand for Hayes. Off left guard. Comes back right. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Falls forward. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage and nothing further. And this is Christian Gomez, the middle linebacker, the transfer from Army on the tackle. So no gain, 3rd and goal. Gomez, the leading tackler with 74 stops. He has 12.5 for loss. So 3rd and goal for the Blockbusters at the 3-yard line. Garden City converting 90% of their red zone trips. They have 31 touchdowns and 4 field goals this year. MJ Link goes right. Kevon Dingle comes left. Slot left with Johnson. Cox in the shotgun. Coffeyville with 8 near the line. Waist-high snap, look left, fire left, incomplete, but a flag is out. This should be offsides.
Yep, offsides against the corner here on the near side.
Look for Kevon Dingle in the back left corner.
Offside. Defense, number 1. Half the distance to the goal. Replay, 3rd down.
That's on Devontae Dawson, which half the distance puts it inside the 2-yard line. So now you have a 3rd and goal from about the 1.5 yards. 11:08 to go here in the opening quarter. Coffeyville went 3 and out. Garden City on their first play at a 53-yard bomb between Cox and Link. 3rd and goal from the 1.5 yard line. Dingle right, Link left. Shotgun for Cox. In motion left to right, Link. Misdirection handoff, Jefferson right up the middle, and he powers into the end zone. Touchdown, Garden City. Ramon Jefferson, his 10th rushing touchdown of the year. This from a yard out, and the Blockbusters made that look easy with 11 minutes to go in the first.
Mike, they had Ellis Merriweather and Ramon Jefferson in the backfield there. It's kind of wondering, what are you going to pick? What are you going to defend, the bowling ball or the Thunder? You know?
Yeah, pick your poison. Dos Santos Arias for the extra point. Snap is back. The placement is good. The end over end kick towards the uprights, and it is perfect. Your Lewis Motors drive summary. 4 plays, 57 yards in 2 minutes and 6 seconds, and it's Ramon Jefferson to the house. 7-0 Garden City on 99.9 The Rock. Onside John Ford, C.D. DeSalvo, Mike Pilasov, shorter kick this time. And it's Fa'amatu at the 10-yard line for Coffeyville, right up the middle. Finds a crease. And he's out near the 36-yard line. Garden City tackle.
Put 40 on the play clock and start it, please.
By Chris Rolak. So 1st and 10 coming up for Coffeyville as they start right around their own 35-yard line.
Christopher Rolak, the tackle for the Busters.
Put it at
guys, how about Garden City's offense, knowing that this is one of the worst run defensive teams, going through the air to start that first drive?
Impressive. Cam Smith remains a quarterback. Hands for Marco Lee, fights his way up the middle. And he's out to the 42 on a 1st down carry. Krishan Merriweather and Sam Muwalo's been dealing with some injuries. In on that tackle, gain of 6, 2nd down and 4 for Coffeyville.
Tackle made by Darius Johnson and Krishan Merriweather.
Merriweather, the nation's leading tackler, just got an offer from UTEP. The offers are starting to come in now. 2nd and 4 Coffeyville from their own 42, down 7-0 with 10.5 to go first quarter. 3 receivers slot right, Smith in the shotgun. Hand for Lee, bouncing wide right. Hit by Krishan Merriweather at the 45, spun just outside the right hash to the 46 of Coffeyville, gains 4, and he should have enough for a 1st down.
We had a little bit of blitz from the outside linebacker. Unfortunately, he was going against the formation. And
you look at Coffeyville on the ground, they average 167 yards per game. Their ground game's much better this year than last. They're 23rd in the country, 41st a year ago. 1st and 10 Coffeyville at their own 46-yard line. Smith hands it off for Marco Lee, trying to find some room off right guard, and twisted down by Darius Johnson. at the 47 along the right numbers. Gain of a yard. It's 2nd down and 9. Blockbuster defense last week was really good against Highland. They gave up just 219 total yards, 62, John, on the ground. Probably their most complete defensive performance of the year.
Yeah, they were really impressive, and they stopped them when we had to have them stopped. Like that first drive that Highland had, that was they could have set the tone for the game for Highland.
3 receivers left, 2nd and 9, Coffeyville at their own 47. Play action, Smith, and it's batted right back in his face by Shamar Pearl. That was easy, and it's 3rd and 9.
Getting good penetration by the right side of that defensive line.
Looked like the line collapsed. So now 3rd and 9, the worst 3rd down team, or at least one of them in the country, converting just 23%. To the near side right comes Greg Jean. Garden City changing defensive personnel. 2 receivers go left. 3rd and 9, Coffeyville at their own 47. 9:18 to go first quarter. 7-0 Blockbusters. Cam Smith, who's normally the backup quarterback, the sophomore from American Heritage. He transferred from McNeese State. In the shotgun, takes the snap, 4-man twist, looks left, fires left, almost intercepted. Left hash mark at the 40-yard line of Garden City. Nyquez Hampton was the intended target. Josh Artis was back in coverage. The Rover, it's 4th and 9 now for Coffeyville, and after picking up 1 first down, they're set to punt.
Mike, I always like it when it's 3rd and long. I zeroed in on Ryan McLean. I mean, it's like he shot out of a gun when that ball snapped. He was coming from his quarterback's weak side, and he was just missed him by a hair.
You think they have really nothing to lose.
Yeah.
9:13 to go here in the first. 7-0 Garden. Coffeyville set to punt. Hughes Ford gets it, and it's blocked by Willie Irvin. Guess who? Out of bounds, and Garden City has the football back at the Coffeyville 30. There's Willie Irvin again.
Wow. And you know, Garden City has been doing a great job as far as defending the punt. There are times where they get awful close to getting it, but usually they don't end up getting a hand on it because they're afraid they're going to rough the punter. But I'll tell you what, that time they were right on top of the punter.
Willie Irvin does it again.
And Coffeyville has their 3 largest human beings back there to block. How does that happen?
They got dominated. First down, Garden from the Coffeyville 29. Toss sweep left, Ramon Jefferson like a bowling ball to the left sideline near the 27. And run out by Jaquan Beaver, the transfer from Mesa, the outside linebacker for Coffeyville. After a gain of about 3, it's 2nd down and 7.
Coffeyville's got a couple of people on that defensive line that are just absolutely monstrous. That number 99, he's supposed to be 6'6", 360.
And that might be understating it. It looked like he swallowed the guy that was 6'6", 360.
I mean, how would you like to be across from him?
2nd and 7, Garden City. Left hash at the Coffeyville 27. Shotgun for Cox. Johnson left along with Dingle. Johnson in motion left to right. He gets it on a jet sweep to the right. Turns the corner and bumped out by the linebacker Spencer Chambers to the 23 after a gain of 4. So now it's 3rd down and 3.
That was a case where Troy Vaughn was just trying to outrun the pursuit. And for the most part, he did. He didn't get the edge like he wanted to, but he did get a little bit of the edge.
Johnson's become one of the most reliable receivers. 18 catches for 260 and 2 touchdowns coming in. Put the ball at the 22. So now it's 3rd and 2 for Garden City, already up 7-0 just outside the red zone. Dingle and Johnson right, Link comes left. Shotgun for Cox, Jefferson on his left hip. Coffeyville in the neutral zone again. The question is, were they drawn off? I think they move first. Right, CD?
From what the Garden City coaches sound like, it was against Garden.
Full start. Offense, number 87. 5 yards from the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
The penalty will move the ball
So
back
now it
5
makes it
yards
3rd and
to the
7.
32-yard line. 27
Back at the 27-yard line.
line.
Referee today is Carl Seacrest.
Doesn't matter who your opponent is, you can't have penalties like that.
Especially on a 3rd and short. So now it's 3rd and 7. Wide right goes Dingle. Slot right Johnson to the near side length. Near side left is Link. Shotgun for Cox. In motion right to left Johnson. Helmet high snap. Handed for Jefferson. Bouncing wide to the right and tripped up at the right at the numbers at the 24-yard line by Devontae Dawson, a transfer from Henderson State in Arkansas, Division II school, gain of 3, and now it's 4th down and 4. And boy, that penalty definitely changed things.
Yeah, and that was a heck of a tackle by Dawson, because I'll tell you what, if he doesn't make that tackle, Jefferson's got the first down.
Well, Dos Santos Harris is staying on the sidelines. Garden City 9 of 14 this year on 4th down. 7:20 to go first quarter, 7-0 Garden. 4th and 4, right hash from the Coffeyville 24. Link, Johnson, and Parker left. Dingle right. Cox in the gun. Helmet high snap, quick drop, looks right, throws right. He's got Dingle, first down to the sideline to the 15, down to the 14. Jaquan Beaver is the one that slings him to the ground at the 15-yard line. It's a gain of 9 on 4th and 4.
Is Cox 2 for 2 now?
Yes, he is.
You still see they're concentrating on the run game. They're using their pass game. I'll tell you what, their passing game kind of loosened Coffeyville up at the very beginning of the game, but now they're back to what they are.
And for Coffeyville, giving up 220 yards a game, which is dead last in the country on the ground, they've actually looked pretty good to start.
Yeah, they have.
1st and 10 Garden from the Coffeyville 15. I formation this time. Cox under center. Dotting the I is Jefferson. They give it to the fullback, Merriweather, and he backs his way near the 11.
But you know as well as I do, Garden City, their run game is a process. What you do is you wear them down in the 1st and 2nd quarter, and then you start taking advantage of them in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Demarius Farmer, the safety, the sophomore from Hoover, Alabama, was a really good wide receiver in high school, makes the tackle at the 11, gain of 4. It's 2nd down and 6 for Garden. 6 to go here in the 1st quarter. 7-0 Rockbusters on the move again, right to left. MJ Link trots to the right. Kevon Dingle, one time at South Florida, comes left. They overload with 2 tight ends left. Half diamond now for Cox. Jefferson behind him, turn left, hand for Jefferson, tries to jump cut left, and he is hit immediately by all 6'6", 360-pound Jermaine Carmina at the 16-yard line. That's a loss of 5, and now it's 3rd and 11.
If Carmina is 6'6", I've got to be 6'5".
Yeah, that roster.
I don't think he's 6'6".
No way.
It looked like Paul Finau missed his man there.
Even if he didn't miss, I think Paul Finau was swallowed by Jermaine Carmina. So now 3rd and 11 Garden City, left hash at the Coffeyville 16.
I was going to ask CD, how could you see?
He was engulfed. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Johnson in motion left to right. Shotgun for Cox. Takes the snap. 4-man rush. Well protected. Floats one to the right. Wide open Link. He's got it at the 5 and out of bounds. Right sideline at the 3. Pushed out by Desmond Ross, who signed with Texas A&T out of high school. That's a gain of 13 on 3rd and 11, and Cox remains perfect.
You know what? MJ Link has become a really, I mean, he's like the #1 receiver for Cox.
And that's textbook. He came back to the football to grab that one.
Cox stays perfect.
Rockbusters at the 2-yard line.
1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Troy Von Johnson comes tight to the left. It's Jaden Hayes to take the direct snap with Merriweather on his right hip. Snap to Hayes, handed for Johnson, sweeping left to right, and he tiptoes into the end zone, right sideline, touchdown! Troy Von Johnson on a jet sweep from left to right is in from 3 yards out, and it's 13-0 Garden City with 4.5 to go first quarter.
Well, we just got to keep the pressure on. I mean, doesn't look like we're overlooking them.
Now they just want to get through them.
Yeah.
That drive had a 4th down conversion and a 3rd down conversion. And now Dos Santos Harris for the extra point. Snap back placement good. The line drive kick is good. Dos Santos Harris is now 42 of 43. Your Lewis Motors drive summary: 8 plays, 30 yards, and 4.5 minutes. And the Blockbusters strike again. 14-0 Garden City, 4:29 to go first quarter on 99.9 The Rock. Alongside John Ford, C.D. DeSalvo, Mike Philosoph from Blockbuster Stadium, 14-0 Garden City. And Coffeyville about to get the football back, but it has been one first down for the Red Ravens. Blockbusters have had 2 big plays and 2 scores. And an end-over-end kick. Fa'amatu, left sideline, fields at the 1-yard line. To the numbers 10, bounces back left to the sideline and hit right at the 10-yard line by Marcus Dean.
I'll tell you what, he got stoned over there, man. That was a heck of a hit.
May not have been the best decision.
Probably not. So his forward momentum carried him from around the 13-yard line. That is where Coffeyville starts their next possession. This is the 3rd possession for the Red Ravens. 1st and 10, Coffeyville down 14-0 with 4:16 to go first quarter.
For the Red Ravens at their own 18,
starting their own 12-yard line. It's a handoff. Check that. Cam Smith keeps it, comes back to the right, and is swamped under near the 11-yard line, so he loses a yard. And it's Anthony Jordan, the cousin of Vikings wide receiver Stephon Diggs, in on that tackle, loss of a yard. It's 2nd and 11.
That play, it looked like it had been blown up right from the very get-go.
Yeah, it's been a challenge for Coffeyville. DJ Lynn, who's the offensive coordinator this year, he's their 4th offensive coordinator in the last 5 years for Coffeyville. 2nd and 11 Red Ravens at their own 11. Trips to the right. Smith in the shotgun. Garden City with 7 near the line. Hand for Lee, sweeping left, lowers the shoulder up the numbers, and he spins near the 15. Ali Gay tracks him down from behind, grabs him around the kneecaps after a gain of 4. It's now 3rd down and 7.
Arguably the ball carrier.
Ali Gay, who's already committed to LSU, the number 1 rated defensive end in the country. 3:10 to go first quarter, 14-0 Garden. Coffeyville a 3rd and 7, left hash at their own 15. Titan Williams is one of 3 receivers that comes right. Wide right is Isaiah Taylor. Cam Smith in the shotgun to his right is Marco Lee. Garden City showing blitz. Here they come. Under pressure, Smith slides to his left at the numbers, takes off 15-20, down the left sideline 30, and steps out of bounds across the 35. Now they said he stepped out at the 35. Kenny White runs him out, but on 3rd and 7, Cam Smith is good for 20 yards.
Krishan Merriweather, he got a little airtime that time.
He jumped
came
over.
Yeah, and when we lost him in the middle, after he blitzed, basically we had no support.
That's kind of the risk you take there.
1st and 10, Coffeyville, left hash moving left to right, north to south at their own 35, trailing 14-0 with 2.5 to go first quarter. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Shotgun snap to Smith. Under some pressure, Rainbow's 1 left up the sideline. He had his man at the Blockbuster 35. But he overshoots the intended target. Shalin Fa'amatu is actually one of the backup running backs. In coverage was Avery Thornton and Kenny White at 2nd and 10.
I thought it looked like Ali Gay was out there.
Yeah, it was Gay that was on the coverage there. So great play design by Coffeyville, just an overthrow.
2nd and 10 now, Coffeyville at their own 35 on the left hash. Cam Smith is 0 for 3 throwing the ball. Taylor, one of 2 receivers right, 2 left, and the shotgun Smith. Quarterback draw, going nowhere, spun down behind the line. Krishan Merriweather was the first one to hit him, back at the 29-yard line, along with Ryan McLean. That's a loss of 6. It's 3rd and 16.
Boy, that looked like a jailbreak right there.
He had no chance.
A loss is back to the 29-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 16.
3rd and 16 for the Red Ravens, who finally picked up a 3rd down on that last play a couple plays ago. So now you have 3rd and 16 on their own 29-yard line. Taylor and Isaiah Wright, 2 of the 3 receivers that come right, 1 left with Smith in the gun. Garden City rushes 5, they drop 6. Smith under pressure, hit, and finally sacked. Ryan McLean getting some help from Eli Hill back at the 24. Back-to-back sacks. Garden City forces another punt. Coffeyville has now given up 34 sacks this year. It's 4th and long.
I'll tell you what, Jordan Riley may have had a shot at getting him about 2 yards back further.
Timeout, Garden City. That's their first charge of the half.
First charge timeout for
Boy,
Garden
as
City.
big as this offensive line is, they have been outmanned, and it hasn't been close.
No, it hasn't.
I'll put the ball back at the 24-yard line now, and Garden City calls a timeout with 1:14 left in the first. So just to get you caught up to speed, Blockbusters forced a 3-and-out on defense. Coffeyville's first possession. That's the 36th 3-and-out that Garden City's forced this year. And then the Blockbusters on their very first play, you think, well, Coffeyville's the worst run defense in the country. They come back. First play, and Nate Cox unleashes a bomb for 53 yards to MJ Link. They eventually score on Ramon Jefferson's rushing touchdown. Coffeyville picks up a first down, punts the next time. Garden City drives down again after it was blocked by Willie Irvin. And the Blockbusters score with Jaden Hayes. So 2 rushing touchdowns. Now Coffeyville set to punt again on 4th down as Hughes Ford drops at his own 10. Troy Vaughn Johnson at his own 40. That's a good kick. Wobbly spiral, angle to the right sideline, takes a Coffeyville bounce and goes out of bounds near the 41 of Garden City. 35-yard punt. Nothing on the return. 1:05 to go here in the first. 14-0 Blockbusters. They have it back, moving right to left.
Michael, I don't know what Floris's philosophy is offensively, but I will tell you this. With his offensive line like it is, and the fact that he's not having a lot of success, why not just go into power I and just play smash mouth? And then maybe that would open up your RPOs. I don't know.
That's a good idea. But they're dropping him in the shotgun, which is already 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah, so to your point, yeah. First down, Garden City up 14-0 from their own 41. Link split left with Johnson. Wide right is DeAndre Wallace. Shotgun for Cox, and Coffeyville jumps into the neutral zone again, but they're going to say false start. Early movement by Garden City.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
Andrew Theobald was the one that flagged on that penalty. So 1st and 15 for Garden. Guys, that's the only thing Garden City has done wrong so far.
And I don't think Coach Minich's going to be very happy about that.
1st and 15 at their own 36 on the right hash. Wallace right, Johnson split left with Link. Cox in the shotgun, Merriweather on his left hip, Hayes on his right. Snap and a 3-step drop. Steps up, little shovel pass right. Caught by Merriweather along the numbers, and angles right near the sideline, and he's near midfield. Or he's dragged down from behind by Jaquan Beaver. Some extra pushing and shoving afterwards. That gains 14 at 2nd and 1.
That's a good first down play, Michael. Just a little
That's
shovel
great awareness
pass
by Cox there, too. Realize, hey, this guy is probably better at running the ball than I am.
And, of course, you don't want to get hurt either. So now you have a 2nd down and 1. Garden City right hash. Right at midfield. Link tight right. DeAndre Wallace comes left. Final 30 seconds of the first. Half diamond for Cox. Chest high snap, play action. Under some pressure, eludes the sack. Floats one down the middle, and he short hops. MJ Link, left side numbers at the Coffeyville 33. The one applying the pressure that time for the Red Ravens was Darius Russell. So now 3rd and 1.
It was a great job by stepping up by Cox. And if he'd have just put a little bit more oomph on that throw, I'll tell you what, MJ Link would have had a nice game.
3rd and 1 Garden City, right from midfield, leading 14-0. 14 seconds to go first quarter. Beautiful sunny afternoon here in southwest Kansas, not a cloud in the sky. Cox under center, straight up eye. Hayes dots the eye. Merriweather is the blocking back. Link comes left. Hand for Hayes. Up the middle. Falls forward as a first down. Right hash to the Coffeyville 48. Hit by Devin Lee, the interior lineman, who is a 3rd-team All-Ohio selection. 19 tackles coming in. That should take us to the end of the first quarter.
The gain is to the 49-yard line of the Red Ravens, and it's good for another Blockbuster.
Clock runs. Blockbusters coming towards the sideline, and the first quarter comes to an end. So the Blockbusters dominated quarter number 1. Coffeyville just 2 first downs and 20 total yards. And the Blockbusters do it through the air for the most part. At the end of 1, it's Garden City 14, Coffeyville nothing on 99.9 The Rock. Getting set to start the second quarter. Garden City now moving left to right, up 14-0 from the Coffeyville 49. And off to Ellis Merriweather, spinning right, coming back left, trying to hang on to the football. And makes his way to the 48, just outside the right hash mark. But a gang tackle for Coffeyville, so that picks up a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. And the Red Raven tackle by Mikkel Pillow Smiley, the defensive end, 2nd and 9.
Mikkel Pillow Smiley and Jerome McHugh with a tackle. No gain on the play.
First quarter, Garden City outgained Coffeyville 102-20. And they lead 14-0, and they have a 2nd and 9, now moving from left to right, right hash at the Coffeyville 48. Johnson left, 3 receivers bunched right. Toss sweep right to Jaden Hayes. On the edge, 50 to the right sideline, 45, and ducks out in the arms of Devontae Dawson at the Coffeyville 44.
Checked by number 36, Christian Gomez.
And Christian Gomez actually pushed him out as well, so that is a gain of about 4. So now it's 3rd down and close to 5.
Gains to the 44-yard line, and it'll bring a 3rd down.
Coffeyville's 2 wins coming into today. They beat Dodge City 14-3. Dodge might not win a game. And then Arkansas Baptist, they rolled 55-24. But you look at some of their losses, they got blown out by Iowa Western, blown out by Fort Scott, blown out by Iowa Central. I can keep going on. They started 0-5. 3rd and 5 Garden at the Coffeyville 44. Johnson left, 3 receivers right. Handed off for Hayes, up the middle. Carries 2 defenders and a 1st down. The Coffeyville 32. Galen Gantz, the strong safety, sophomore from Beaumont, Texas, 4th on the team with 49 tackles, makes the stop waist high right hash mark after a gain of 11 to the 33.
Mike, it's really rare to see a Coffeyville team, go start out 0-5. I mean, Coffeyville's got a rich tradition in football.
John, it's their first 0-5 start since 1970. They actually lost their first 9 games then. 1st and 10 Garden at the Coffeyville 33. Cox in the shotgun play action, looks left, spirals left to the sideline, over the shoulder catch made by Link at the Coffeyville 22, working on Desmond Ross. That's a gain of 11. And Nate Cox has been perfect so far. He's 5 for 6.
And that was one of those times where he threw a ball, and it looked like his son may have affected it a little bit because it was going all over the place.
You're talking about from the right hash to the opposite side of the field. You got to have a lot of mustard on
Yeah.
1st and 10 Garden, left hash at the Coffeyville 22, leading 14-0 with 12:55 to go first half. Cox changing the play. Malik Bryant is the tight end right. H-back right is Bryce Parker. Half diamond for Cox, turns and gives for Hayes. Right up the middle, 15-10, 5, touchdown! Huge hole for Jaden Hayes. The cannon goes off, 22-yard rushing touchdown for Hayes, his 2nd of the first half, and it's 20-0 Garden City.
He didn't get touched, Mike. What a great hole by the offensive line. And then, of course, Hayes has that extra gear. And once he gets to the second tier, I mean, he just explodes.
Lewis Motors drive summary, 8 plays, 59 yards in 3 minutes and 24 seconds. And Dos Santos Era's extra point is good. 12:41 to go until the halftime break. All Garden City up 21-0 on 99.9 The Rock.
First down, 10 Ravens.
Tyquez Hampton makes a fair catch on the short pooch kick by Dos Santos Eras. And he's out at the 35-yard line alongside John Ford, C.D. DeSalvo, Mike Pilosoff from Blockbuster Stadium. With 12:41 to go here in the first half, it's all Garden City up 21-0. Red Ravens have done nothing offensively. They have just 20 total yards. They've run 14 plays. They're averaging 1.4 yards per play. First down, Red Ravens from their own 35. Cam Smith in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Garden City rushes for Smith. Under pressure and sacked again. Sam Muala and Darius Johnson back at the 26-yard line. It's a loss of 9. Cam Smith never knew what hit him.
Yep. They had a little bit of a corner blitz, too, on that. I thought the quarterback was going to get there before those other two did, but boy, I'll tell you what.
Well, that was well designed by Gary Dominguez.
Yes.
Second and 19 now. Coffeyville from their own 26.
New quarterback.
And it's Aubrey Williams. Check that. Edwin Kleinpeter is now in at quarterback. On second and long. Drops the throw. Rifles one right up the seam, and it's off the hands of Tyquez Hampton. Right hash at the Coffeyville 40. Rashad Merriweather is looking for that ricochet. Incomplete at second and 10. Excuse me, third down and long.
I'll tell you what, the kid has a pretty good arm.
Better throw than what we've seen. Third down and 19 now. Coffeyville from their own 26 with less than 12 to go first half.
I think that other quarterback's seeing black.
Yeah, well, he should.
Well, he got crushed on that sack as well.
Did he limp off the field, CD?
He was shook up. I don't know if it was a head or it didn't look like a leg. It looked more like a head, upper body.
Timeout here called, I believe, by Coffeyville.
Timeout. Coffeyville. Their first of the half.
All right, so that gives us a chance to get you caught up to speed. 11:58 to go second quarter alongside John Ford, C.D. DeSalvo, Mike Pilosoff. Blockbusters in this series have won the last 3 games. Last time Coffeyville won in this series was back in 2015. That's the year Garden City knocked off #1 Butler, blew out Iowa Central, and they came in the regular season finale and had a chance against Riley Ferguson, the record-setting quarterback who eventually went to Memphis. Coffeyville won that game. Blockbusters have won every game since. In this one, it's been the Jaden Hayes show. 2 rushing touchdowns. Ramon Jefferson has 1, and Nate Cox has been nearly perfect through the air. He's 5 of 6 for 100 yards. Meantime, the defense for Garden has limited Coffeyville to just 11 total yards. And the Red Ravens now a 3rd and 19 after the timeout at their own 26 with 3 receivers right. Kleinpeter in the gun, takes the snap, 3-man rush. Eludes a sack, darts it over the middle. It's caught, but right there to hit him immediately is Kenny White, who's still dealing with his shoulder injury. And that is Titan Williams that makes the catch at the 36. There is an injured blockbuster.
Timeout for
Jair
injury.
Jones. And that didn't look good. Coffeyville set to punt now. That was a gain of 10. It'll be 4th down and 9. CD, did you see what happened?
I did not, but heard Coach Minich talk about Jair Jones, about how he's just kind of that old school, just when he gets on the field, he is just mean, and he loves having him on this defense.
So we step aside. 11:48 to go here in the first half, and Garden City up 21-0 on 99.9 The Rock. Well, Jair Jones walks off under his own power, so to John Ford's point, he called it, maybe got the wind knocked out of him with 11:48 to go second quarter. 21-0 Garden City. Coffeyville now set to punt on 4th down and 9. Johnson back deep.
Michael, look at the people that are protecting that punter.
It doesn't look promising.
No. That's huge. They're huge.
They gave up a block earlier.
I think that's why they put 99 in there. Wobbly spiral, angled left. Bounces up the left sideline. Johnson lets it go. It's a good carryover for Coffeyville. Rolls inside the 15, left numbers to the 11. That's where it dies. A 53-yard punt for Hughes Ford. His long this year, he had a 70-yard punt against Independence. So nothing on the return. 11.5 to go here in the second quarter. And the Brockbusters take over, moving left to right, and they have absolutely dominated this game. You're talking about total offense. Garden City's outgained Coffeyville 154 to 21. And the Brockbusters already have racked up 3 sacks. First down Garden City, moving left to right. Up 21-0 with 11.5 to go second quarter from their own 11.
Hayes up the middle.
Cox in the shotgun. Hayes is on his right hip. See if John Ford's play call is correct. And it is. Right up the middle. Hayes, 15. Left side number is 20. Bouncing left to the sideline, 30. Blocker out in front. And he's out near midfield. What a call by John Ford to the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 34.
Well, the only reason is, Michael, they haven't been able to stop it. He's been going through Scott 3. And he's got that extra gear, too. I'll tell you what, he is
guys,
quick
Andrew
and fast.
Andrew Theobald out right now, not out on the field, looks a little shook up over the shortage table.
He's been dealing with that wrist, and they are actually retaping that left wrist. He's got a cast on it. 1st and 10, Garden City left hash at their own 45. Side Jarman comes right. Amir Holmes goes left. Play action Cox. Well protected. This one is short-armed, and it's intercepted left side numbers, and you can tell that time the thumb definitely affected the throw, intended for side Jarman, and it's picked off by Dalen Gantz. That's only the 3rd interception thrown this year by Cox, and he knows it.
Yeah, that was a hideous-looking pass.
Yeah, not pretty.
That was in the air for a long time.
You can tell as soon as he released it, that was a wounded duck.
It wasn't a Spyro, it was a gyro.
Get those at Arby's. 10:53 to go here in the first half. Coffeyville takes over following the turnover at their own 31. And it's Klein Peters staying in at quarterback. Play action, fires over the middle. Tyquez Hampton, did he make a sliding catch? And they're going to say incomplete. Bobbled it, left hash at the Coffeyville 47. Ali Gay dropped back in coverage, along with DJ McCullough, 2nd and 10. Okay, here's my question on that last throw. How concerned are you moving forward now? Because most of the throws he's made have been pretty good.
Well, he's also throwing against the wind, too, so that...
And it's pretty stiff. 2nd and 10, Coffeyville from their own 31. And you know things are going south when your wide receiver thinks this is the Canadian League and was about 5 seconds too early.
Yeah, I think he forgot something.
Full start. Offense, number 17. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Coffeyville has been known for penalties. That is, this year they have 77 penalties, 3rd most in the country, 749 yards, 5th most. This is the last few years. They have finished in the bottom 20 the last 5. Last year they were 52nd in penalties, 62nd in 2017. You kind of get the theme. Long yardage situation here, and it's a run with Keyshawn Bryan trying to get the edge, and he's knocked down. Coming up from that rover spot is Jair Jones, who's back in the game, knocks him down back at the 24. Right side numbers, loss of 2. It's 3rd and 17 now.
Mike, it's not like they don't have the beef there as far as the blockers.
Yeah,
I mean, those blockers are huge.
Let's call it what it is. The play calling has been perplexing from Coffeyville. 3rd and 17. Red Ravens from their own 24 with 10:15 to go in the half.
That's how you tear an Achilles tendon. Perplexing.
Coffeyville 1 for 5 on 3rd down. Hampton comes wide left. Isaiah Taylor's in a slot left. Klein Peter in the pistol. Chest high snap, 4-man rush under pressure again. Slides right, comes back left, and he's enveloped back at the 22. Ryan McLean.
Late hit.
And Jordan Riley, and here comes a flag out. So the sack will count. It's a loss back to the 22 of 2. So it would make it 4th and 19, but the personal foul, which maybe he drove him into the ground. This is that new rule they have in the NFL that is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Michael, that there was one of the defensive backs went over there and jumped on the pile just as the whistle was being
Personal
blown.
foul, late hit, number 3, defense. 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic, first down.
All right, you know what? That's a marginal call. That right there.
Jerry Dominguez is arguing that that was before the whistle.
Yes, you're right. I agree
might have a point.
100%.
So that first down, the 15 yards, gives Coffeyville a first down.
It's just the optics of it isn't great.
Now Coffeyville for their own 37. Klein Peter has 2 backs behind him in the pistol. Fakes the pitch, keeps it running left. That's a big man to try and bring down. Breaks 1 tackle, and then Willie Hampton jumps on his back and brings him to the ground. Left hash mark at the Coffeyville 41, picks up 4. It's 2nd down and 6. Klein Peter is 6'2", 240.
He is a big dude.
He's thick.
Yes, he is. Second down and 6. Now, Coffeyville, meantime, has given up 4 sacks here in the first half. They now 36 for the year. Williams in a slot right. Isaiah Taylor wide right. Solo left on 2nd and 6. Coffeyville from their own 41. Handoff to Lee, going left, and shut down by Jordan Riley, the North Carolina transfer, outside the hash mark left at the 35. Loses 6, and it's 3rd and 11.
Boy, that looked like a biddy ball play. I mean, once he got the ball, he just collapsed. Of course, that was due to the tackle.
Yes. 3rd and 12. Coffeyville from their own 35. They have trips right. Klein Peter in the shotgun. Machu on his left hip. Garden City sends the house. Klein Peter hit, throwing right, incomplete. And another flag comes out.
Flag.
Josh Artis just planted Klein Peter. The pass up the right seam for Hampton, incomplete at the 40. But this is going to be 15 more yards, and Coffeyville might be down 2 quarterbacks.
Jeez. I think the only thing they...
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 7. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
Call that on Riley. The hit, though, was by Josh Artis.
Now they're throwing flags for things that look bad.
Yeah.
I mean, let's call it what it is. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, I understand, like, the NFL, it's hard to watch because there's a flag every play. And not only that, it's Dick Butkus and all his cronies from the 70s. They're all laughing at these guys. I mean, this is football, correct, John?
Yeah.
Well, and there's an offensive lineman here arguing with Tom Minich. You know, if you're not going to block for your quarterback, I don't think you have the right to talk to the opposing head coach.
Absolutely not. Trying to figure out what these referees are doing. It should be 15 yards and a first down.
I think they're trying to figure it out, too.
Man, arithmetic, not the strength today.
That's ridiculous. That should have never been called.
Coffeyville gets 2 first downs on this drive on personal foul late hit calls. And Cam Smith is back in the game, and Klein Peter goes out. So Smith, the transfer from McNeese State, played in 2 games there last year. He left back in May.
I like what Coach Minich's doing. I mean, he's standing out there at the 40, and he's not going to move until he talks to that white hat, and that's good.
Well, as CD is pointing out, the offensive lineman has no right to go in and start yapping to Tom Minich. By the way, instead of yapping, why don't you block? First and 10.
Guys, the white hat said it was because of the weight pushing him into the ground after the tackle.
Well, I mean,
Lordy,
come on.
give me a break.
Might as well play 2-hand touch. First down, Coffeyville at midfield. Smith back in. Snap in the shotgun, looks left, fires left incomplete at the sideline at the 35-yard line. Trying to hit Tyquez Hampton. Sam Mawala had dropped back in coverage with DJ McCullough over the top. 2nd and 10, Coffeyville.
Good thing we didn't touch the quarterback that time.
I ought to breathe on him.
Yeah.
But, guys, what does it come to that that's a penalty? That's what I'm asking.
You know, him saying the weight, that he gave it a little extra weight. defy him to stop that.
What do you want him to have? Gastric bypass in the middle of the play? I mean,
I'll tell you what,
you can't land on a guy you tackle. That's physically impossible.
Yeah. 2nd and 10, Coffeyville from midfield, down 21-0. Exchange between Smith and Williams was bobbled, so Smith keeps it. The quarterback runs left into plus territory to the Garden City 47, run out by McCullough.
That's like an umpire calling a strike way over a guy's head, and then the hitter turning back and saying, okay, you hit that if it's a strike.
Or like Aaron Judge is 6'9", so his strike zone is apparently much different than everybody else. 8:09 to go here in the first half. Garden leading 21-0. Coffeyville, thanks to 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on this drive, got 2 first downs. They have 3rd and 8 from the Garden City 48. Rockbusters have more penalty yardage, 40, than Coffeyville has total yardage, 17. 3rd and 8 Red Ravens at the Garden City 48. They're 1 of 6 on 3rd down. Shotgun snap to Smith, hands to Amatu off left guard, and taken down from behind.
Peter back in.
Motu Amutai is the one that brings him down. As you heard, the Klein Peters back in at quarterback, gain of about a yard of the 47, so now it's 4th and 7 for
Coffeyville did us a favor by running the ball, not passing, because if we did touch that quarterback, we would have got another flag.
I mean, it's comical. It really is.
It's just so ridiculous. I mean, I understand the rationale behind the rule and the quarterback. I understand that, but that's what you're doing is penalizing the defense there. You're not penalizing, well, obviously you're penalizing defense, but
this one drops the nose down. Hughes forward. Johnson signals for a fair catch and then lets it go into the end zone. That's a great play by Troy Vaughn Johnson. Got away from it, and the Blockbusters start 1st and 10 after a 47-yard punt at their own 20 with 6:55 to go first half. 2 rushing touchdowns by Jaden Hayes, one by Ramon Jefferson. Nate Cox is 5 of 7 for 100 yards. His lone mistake was a pass into the wind that had no chance. It was picked off by Dalen Gantz. But other than that, Garden has outgained Coffeyville 188-18. The Red Ravens offensively are averaging 0.7 yards per carry.
Mike, the point I was trying to make on that is what you're doing is you're muting the defense's aggressiveness by doing that.
First down, Garden from their own 20. Changes your mindset.
Yeah.
And off for Jefferson. Finds a hole off right tackle. Breaks 2 tackles. Cuts back left, and there he goes. Right number is 40. Jefferson to the 50. One man to beat 30, 20, 15, 10, and he carries Gantz down to the 6-yard line. Ramon Jefferson turning on the Jets and a gain of 74.
That was a case of arm tackles, and you're not gonna tackle Ramon Jefferson with arm tackles. His center of gravity is way too low. He's like a bowling ball once he gets going. Not going to do it.
Mark it down at the 7. Officially a gain of 73. 1st and goal, Garden City. Rockbusters have ran it 16 times for 161. They have as many carries, guys, as Coffeyville has total yardage.
Hayes up the middle here.
1st and goal from the